Ralph here, and welcome to True Power Trumpet Fitness. Are we on? Yes, we are. True Power Trumpet Fitness and fabulous Friday. The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day. I am so insanely busy. I'm turning down students. Crazy. But anyway, you saw the thumbnail. If you can play one note correctly, the trumpet world is yours. The world, Chico, and everything in it. That's my favorite line from Scarface. We'll get to that in a minute. Anyway, let's see what we got, and then we'll get to it. One note, baby. Hellacious. D's above double C on a C trumpet, wide open, and then right down. I'm on the juice, baby. Right down into the iconic offstage solo to Mahler's Third Symphony. Anyway, you saw the thumbnail. The world, Chico, and everything in it. That was my favorite line from Scarface. Everybody talks about the final thing. Say hello to my little friend. I mean, that was cool. No question, that was cool. But my favorite was right at the beginning, towards the beginning. And Manolo and Tony are driving in the car, coming back from a night at the clubs with all the gangsters. And Manolo's a little drunk. He says, Tony, man, what do you want? And he says, the world, Chico, and everything in it. I love that line. And guys, I'm going to start calling you guys Chico, because everything in the trumpet world is there for you if you can play one note correctly. Now, I have tons of students that I take a lesson, I get them on the right track. Geez, they're really playing, they're ready to go. And then 2 days, 3 days later, I got off. And what I've been doing is, I realized that my tongue wasn't right, so I changed. And I realized that I wasn't playing soft enough on the low notes. Guys, you don't change anything. If you're having trouble, you go back to that one note you play correctly, and it just expands from there. It's as simple as that. You must play it correctly. Now, most people, after a half-hour, 40-minute lesson, can do more than one note correctly. Usually it's a scale, okay? A C scale. If that's your happy zone, then I know it's boring, but just stay there. And the more you play correctly, the more it's going to relax. The less air you're going to use. The more it relaxes, the thicker tongue you have. Guys, and before you know it, you are doing anything physically. Physically, that your idols can do. Now, as I've said before, from there, when you get the physical part, you can take it anywhere you want to go. Okay? Look, I get so much stuff on your tone is too bright, and your phrasing on the Mahler third is not what I thought, and you're articulate. Guys, fine. But you can't do what I just did. I'm telling you, I can give you the chops, and then you alter your tone a little bit. You phrase it anytime you want. Because why? Because you will have the ability to do it. And any trumpet teacher says, don't worry about the high notes. You make all your money into no. You are lost today if you don't have at least a high G, if not a double C. You are lost. Why? Because you go on the internet for 2 seconds and you can get 50 guys, 50 kids that are dolts, that are squeaking, squawking, and can't play a note, but they've got that. And that's what DCI is going to take. That's what every jazz band is going to take and whatnot. Now, you want to be an artist. You want to be Harry James. Fine. You have the chops to do it. You absolutely have the chops to do it. You get a 1 SB and you work with one note. And from one note, let's say it's a G in the staff. I don't have perfect pitch. That may not be a G. One note. Then you've got 2 notes. Then you've got an octave. Guys, but it has to be right. And if it's right, if the tone is right and it feels right, the tone will tell you. You stay there. That is what you do. And if you say, well, every time I try to go above a high C, my tone goes back. Okay, don't play above a high C. Don't try to change it. What you do is you play from your happy zone from low C to high C, if that's it, over and over and over. And it doesn't have to be scales. It can be Clark. It can be Arbin. It can be a Clark Terry solo. It can be anything you want. But you just stay there. You make sure the things pop. And before you know it, guys, you're playing Ds just as easy as you can play a C. But it has to be right. It has to start with one note. I can't begin to tell you the students that I have. And I know I've said this before. Oh, now Skype, they're not sitting here, blah, 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 blah. I get them going, geez, up to a high C, they're killing it. You're all set. Guys, just basically, I tried to play, I played a job the other night and it collapsed. Guys, you have to play correctly. And I know that's harder to do. That's hard to do when you go on a job, okay? But no problem. You wake up the next day and it feels like somebody punched you in the mouth. No problem. You go back to where the tone is right and you just work it back. And over time, correct playing will come back. You don't change stuff. You don't go back to the diagram. Oh, that's what it is. See, my bottom lip was not. No. If you were playing correctly from a low C to a middle C, and the tone is centered, pure, and brilliant, that's where your bottom lip is supposed to be. The only difference, when you want to go to a high C, press it more. Nothing changes. If you're playing low C to middle C here and it sounds great, and you can't get to a high C, you don't do that. You don't do that. No, this is what you do. Boom. It's the same thing. If you get one note right, CHICO, the world is yours, the trumpet world is yours, and everything in it. It's as simple as that. Now, there are geniuses out there, and I don't happen to be one of them. And if the genius has the chops, and you don't have the genius, he's going to win every time. That's just a fact. And every guy that I talk about has the genius factor. Harry James, Horst Fischer, Maurice, all of them. Okay? But they started with chops. I don't care what sort of a genius is. If they can't get out of the staff, You can take your genius and throw it away. It's worthless. But you have the chops, and you can take it wherever you want to go. Wherever you want to go. The world, Chico, and everything in it. Get to it, baby. Eat and drink your fruits and vegetables, and live your life with true power. Love you all.